Hey, welcome back. So this is the second part to the Canvas piece of the tutorials. This one we're going to go ahead and add the functionality of being able to keep track of how many coins a player has picked up, or collectibles in this case. I'm using coins, but you can use whatever you want, of course. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a game instance to be able to take that variable, put it up into the game instance, because what happens is when we go from one level to the next, everything is wiped out. And I'll show you that here in the demo with the time. You can see that the time has resets every time we go to a new level. And I was thinking about trying to fix that so that we could keep track of the game total time. But then I thought, as we make these levels more and more complicated, we're going to get into minutes and hours worth of time. And it may be actually more beneficial to the player to see how quickly they make it through each level. So I'm going to leave it that way, especially since the ease of programming, being able to track the time is additional programming that I don't think I want to get into in this tutorial. So, but we will keep track of our coins. It's pretty quick process, pretty simple, and I'll show you how to do that. So let's go ahead and take a look real quick. But of course, if you're just joining me for the first time, putting on the Fritz 3D visualization, you can check out the channel. Take a look at this tutorial series on making this rollerball game, and kind of get caught up on anything that you want to get caught up on. Again, you can pick and choose on the different things you need, because not everything that's in this tutorial series is necessarily needs to go into your game. But if you wanted to make it more challenging in different ways, there's certainly different things you can choose from. Okay, so again, if you like what you see, please subscribe to my channel. So let me go ahead and jump on over to my demo here. So again, if I hit play, I have at the top you can see coins remaining, and on the right hand side you can see coins collected as 0, the level, and the time is counting up. So right now it's been like 10 seconds or so, and I'm pointing that out because as I go through this and I pick up the coins, okay, now I have 3 coins, 0 remaining. If I go back through, you can see that the timer reset. That's about at 12 or 14 seconds. I can't remember exactly. But anyway, so it resets every single time. But the coins collected remain the same up at the top. They do not get reset, and that's because we're using a game instance and putting our variable up in the game instance to keep track of the number of coins that we actually have picked up. All right, and now, let me see here. Let me try something. Pick up 1. Now if we go through, it keeps track of the number of coins we've picked up. And then even if we have to reset, it keeps that same number of coins. All right, so and so that way you could actually pick up more coins in your process. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump on into the game and making this work out, adding our functionality here. Okay, so here is again where we left off last time. This is kind of the generic play world that I've got set up, and it started me all the way over here. So let's jump back over this area. All right, so now what we're going to do is go ahead and set it up to keep track of the number of coins that we pick up and carry that on to the next level. So the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to create a game instance. So we're going to go down here to our content drawer, and I'm going to go into my content upper folder, into my blueprints, and I'm going to put that in here with my game mode. It's just usually where I put it. I'm sure you could probably make your own folder that says game instance if you wanted to keep track of it separately. So I'm going to go ahead and right click. We're going to go ahead and go to blueprint class, and then right here we're going to type in game instance. Okay, and we're going to want to pick this top one right here. We want game instance. I'm going to go ahead and select it, and I'm just going to go ahead and call this a BP underscore my game instance. And the reason why I'm putting the my in front of it is because there's already one that exists that's called game instance. All right, now with that done, I'm going to go ahead and double click on it. We'll come back to this in a second. There's something we need to do in project settings first, okay? So we're going to go to our project settings, And we're going to go to our maps and modes. And then right down here at the bottom where it says game instance class, see there was one that's already called game instance. We're going to hit the down arrow and we're going to select the BP my game instance. Okay, and with that done, I'm going to go ahead and jump back into my game instance over here. And believe it or not, it's just one thing we're going to do in here. We're going to add a variable. We're going to go ahead and call this coins collected. I made it all one word. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to go ahead and change this from a boolean to an integer. Not an integer 64, but an integer. Okay. I'm going to open the eye up so that the variable is public and editable on each instance of this blueprint. Okay. So that means we can reach in and we can edit it. All right. I'm going to compile. I'm going to go ahead and save that. Now, the next thing I want to do is set it up so that I can keep track of my coins and start adding them together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my BP player. So go to your player, okay? So your blueprint for your player. And we're going to add a function over here, okay? I'm going to go ahead and hit the plus button for my function. And we're going to call this one add another pickup. You can call it coin or collectible or whatever you want, but basically this is what it is. Add another pickup. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cast it to go back to my game instance. All right. So I'm going to pull out of here, and this is how we can modify and change other blueprints out there by casting to them or getting information from them by casting to them as well. All right. So we're going to go ahead and cast to BP underscore my, and it should come up BP my game instance right here. Okay. Now what we need to do is we need to get this object first. So we're going to get game instance. Okay. So we're going to get a game instance. And all we're going to do is we're going to pull out from here first, and we're going to go ahead, and now that we've got the game instance, we're going to call that variable that we made. So the coins, so we're going to get coins collected, okay? And we're going to use a plus plus. So I'm going to pull out from there, hold shift, hit plus twice, and we're going to increment an integer, okay? So right here where it says that. So what we're going to do is by using this, it increments, what it does is it goes and gets the original value and then adds 1 to it. We're going to plug this in here. I'm going to save that. Okay, compile it, save it. Let's go ahead and file, save all for right now. So now the next thing we need to do is we need to go into the blueprint of your collectibles, okay? Mine are BP coins, okay? I actually have, in this demo, I have 2. So if I go to my content drawer, and I'm pointing this out because if you have multiple pickups, okay, you need to make sure that you put this function into each of those, because this is where it's going to actually count the coin when you pick it up, okay? So we're going to go into our blueprint for our coin, and we're going to right up here, we're going to pull this out a little bit. So we have this delay. We're not going to put it in front of that. We're not going to put it in destroy. We're going to do the very last thing after we get done doing all this. We're going to count it, okay? So what we need to do is we're going to make first a function, okay, where we count this coin. And I'm going to go here to my functions. I'm going to hit the plus button again, and we're just going to call this count. Mine's a coin. You can count collectible, pickup, whatever you want to do. Since this is a coin, I'm just going to put count coin. All right. Now, we put that function together inside of our inside of our inside of our player, right? So we're going to pull off of here, and we're going to cast to that function that we created for counting the coins, right? So we're adding another pickup. So first we need to cast to our player to get it though. Cast to BP underscore, and it should be player. What did I call it? What is it? Oh, it's my player. Okay, my player. So there we go. cast to BP my player. Make sure you get your player. Okay. This is a player pawn. Now, depending on what your character is, so if you actually are using a character that's like a two-legged character, it's got all the character setups in it, you're going to want to get player character. But in this case, we're going to get player pawn because in this game we set it up to be, get player pawn. Talking instead of typing. There we go. Okay, so now we got get player pawn. Now we're going to pull out from right here where it says as BP my player. Pull out from there, and we're going to say add another pickup. Okay. So now we've got this function put together. We're going to compile and we're going to save it. Now I'm going to go back up to the event graph. I'm going to pull this function out called count coin. And I'm going to go ahead and plug it in here. Okay. All right, I'm going to compile it, save it. I'm going to file, save all. Now, we're going to go back to our player HUD. So in the last video, we set up our player HUD. We have our designer here, right? And what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull out another text box. I'm going to stick it right over here under time. I'm keeping it over here with the time because this is our information area for the player to see how many collectibles they have, how much time they've been playing. And then over here, this is kind of their challenge area of how many they have left to pick up. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and line this up a little bit. And then for this anchor, I'm going to go ahead and put it to the right top corner here. I'm going to change this font size down to 20 like the rest of them. Okay. And I'm also going to type in here what this is going to be. And this is going to be my coins collected. Since my collectibles are coins, that's what I'm going to call this. You can obviously call it whatever you need to for your game. Maybe you're collecting diamonds, or maybe you just want to call them collectibles or objects or whatever. But anyway, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to go ahead and change the color. And I'm going to change the font also for this from Roboto to that. Again, if you have only the one font, the Roboto font, just use that one for right now. And look at one of my previous videos, about 2 videos ago, where we made the sign. And I show you how to import fonts from different sites into Unreal Engine. All right, so that's all set up. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to go in and we're going to count. So we're going to bind this. What we want to do is we want to go right here where it says text, coins collected, hit the bind button. We're going to create a binding just like we did before. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and double click this one, and I'm going to change this to count collectibles. Okay. All right, so we're going to count the collectibles. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to reference, so we're going to get a reference to our game instance. So this is going to be a cast. So we're going to cast to BP underscore my game instance. Okay. And we want to make sure that we get the game instance. So right here from object, we need to get game instance. Okay. Now we're going to pull out from here where it says as my game instance so we can get reference to the coins collected variable that we created, or collect, or whatever it was that you called it. But mine was get coins collected again. Back here in our game instance, remember we made this variable coins collected. Okay. All right, so now I've got that. Now what I need to do is I need to do toText integer. So we want the regular integer, not the one with the 64 at the end. Okay. And now I'm going to do another append. So I'm going to right click, type in append. Oops, that was the wrong one. Right click. We want the append for the string down here. This is going to go plugged into the B, and it's going to do a little conversion for us. And then right here in A, this is where our text is going to go. And since mine is coins collected, that's what I'm going to call it. Colon and then a space after, so I get a little bit of a space between the colon and the numbers. I'm going to pull this a little bit more to the right because we're going to get one more converter in here where we're going to convert it to string. Okay, so we're going to do to text to string. Okay, I'm going to compile it, save it. Now I'm going to take a look at my designer one more time. I want to make sure that I have enough space here to cover the number of coins that might be collected in digits. So that's an awful lot of space for coins, so that should be good. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump back in. I'm going to do a file save all real quick. Go back to my screen. I'm going to hit play. And if we did it right, it should say coins collected right up here. And then I'm going to go ahead and start collecting coins and see what I get. All right, so it looks like I've collected 3 coins. Now if I go to my next level up, there we go. I go to level 2. It keeps my coins that I collected. And now if I jump up to level 3, it still keeps my coins collected. Okay. Now there's no coins remaining on here because I don't have any coins. All right, so that should be it for this tutorial. If you have any questions, please post them down in the comments down below. I usually get back to you. It may take me a couple of days or so, maybe a week. It just depends on what's happening. And then I always try to get back to everybody who asks questions. If you liked what you saw, please like the video. Also subscribe to my channel. And I will see you next time.